Yeah.
Looks like a fish.
Oh, it's tiny.
I'll get a little bit closer.
I think it's another one of those green eyes.
Yeah, it looks like it. Touchdown. Yes. Okay. Do we have any interest in?
That's okay. I think we know. We've been seeing these. They're pretty common.
Copy that. Feel free to come out video.
So Nav, I think
There's quite a bit of current.
after this move, we'll want to make our next one a little bit more northwest. I think we can call this close to the top.
Oh,
Brittle star.
Look at this sponge.
Are you talking about the tall, erect one?
Yeah.
Lasers on.
Lasers coming on.
Have we seen one of these white urchins? I know we've seen a lot of urchins, but this one looks particularly bleached.
Yeah, can we snap zoom just to see if it might be dead?
Sure.
I think the spines would not be on
Yeah,
the
the
body.
spines wouldn't be erect if it was
Go
dead,
ahead and
but
snap zoom video.
looks like it's
Yeah, it's the smooth one.
Yeah.
The smooth spine.
very much alive. But yeah, very much clean spined rather than the serrations and a
Lower
lot of
left
buildup
spines
from
got something on them.
attached organisms like
that.
hydroids and encrusting critters.
Toe.
All right,
Okay, feel free to
that's
come
that.
Pretty far out, that's max zoom.
Oh, copy that. All right, come out and we'll go look at the sponge. Science, you said that this wasn't high priority.
No, it's one we've seen before. It seemed a little bit brighter in coloration.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Ah, this basket star looks like it's open. We're in luck.
How is that for lighting video?
It's good.
So
Lasers
these
are
are
clear.
usually
Go
all
ahead and
curled up
come in.
many times, wrapped around what we saw earlier,
Look at the
branching,
Central disc.
Okay, coming over.
either octocoral or other type of coral. But this one's open. You can see the central disc, which is pretty cool.
Coming back.
These are also
Open down a
suspension
little.
feeders, so
Copy that, Bridge. Thank you.
they're trying to collect all these small little animals that are swimming in
Come down a bit.
the water.
Back over.
Max zoom.
Copy that.
Pretty spiny.
Yeah,
Is there
you rarely see
any interest in
central
getting
disc.
closer, or
This
I
is
think
good.
this is good.
Yeah,
copy that?
it's more for video to get some good images of this
Just hold
really
that for
cool
15 seconds.
Gorgonocephalus.
Let's get full screen of the
Kind of looks like it's moving in slow
Star.
motion
Go ahead and come out.
all the time. A lot of the echinoderms look like they're moving in slow motion.
You want me
Using
to
water,
hand down?
water
tilt
vascular
coming
systems to pump
the
water
screen as much
into
as
and out of
possible.
parts of their
Gotta do it
appendages to
slow.
make movements and manipulate things.
A little bit more. How's that?
It's good.
Headlights are off, rolling.
Okay, let's try with headlights on now.
Separate shot.
Okay. Come on, headlights.
Just fills in those lower shadows a little better.
Yeah, and darkens the background.
Pretty amazing.
Let's go to the bottom right arm.
Coming down. Over. The one that's kind of
This
branching
one's
out
more
right
The
now.
one that's
smooth.
starting to open up.
Yep. Swinging over a little bit. Trying to do it smooth. You happy there?
I mean, it's
Copy that.
crazy how it's
Gonna try and hold that.
You can zoom serious roll.
so intricate with these arms.
Okay, getting the unfolding. I'm gonna zoom down a little bit more. Huh? No, it's
Nice.
I think it's probably one of the more coordinated echinoderms, but I'm not so sure of that. Must take weeks to untangle those appendages.
it's worse than a set of headphones.
Okay. Video's clear.
Copy that. Science, are you clear?
Yes.
That's the
Thank
case.
you.
Feel free
Great,
to
thanks.
come out and we can continue on. How was that for steady and lighting video?
That was good.
Headlights
Full wide.
coming off if you're okay with that, pilot.
Copy that. Coming
So,
off.
co-pilot, we were talking about 285 or somewhere around there for this next move that we want to call in.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, what
Okay.
Nav was originally thinking. Yeah.
And I mean, you're clear, far out. Do we like sticking with these 20 meters?
I would say yes for now,
Okay.
because I think we're going to have to adjust that after the next move.
Yeah, if we get up there. Okay, pilot, you ready for that call? You're going.
So there's
Right,
been this
for a
theory,
move.
and I'm not sure if somebody has
What?
Pilot.
found
Okay.
otherwise, that the Mona
250.
Passage acts as a genetic
Bridge, driving
barrier
nav.
between Puerto Rico and the
Ready for another
Dominican
move.
Republic.
20 meters.
So a lot of people have
285.
studied, the fish
0.2
populations between the
knots.
Dominican Republic and on the western side of Puerto Rico.
Is that a holothurian on the right?
I think it's
Good copy.
big.
Or
It's too big.
am I
of
looking
Or
at a
sort of
sponge
I
in a
think
weird
it's a
direction?
sponge.
There's a fish right ahead of us, so
Oh yeah, there is
it's
a
just
fish
dropping down over the.
right
I'll
under that little ledge.
try and come to the starboard a bit and sneak around on him. Give me a chance to
Oh yeah.
practice my little turn.
Something there, yeah.
If you want to come in for a
Oh,
partial
this is a
roll,
new one. Huh.
I'm gonna keep moving towards it.
I'll come down to give you a little tether, but you might
That
feel a jerk.
You know what? This kind of looks like this fish here.
down. Coming down with the camera.
Oh yeah.
It's got the same kind of
He's coming
spot on the
underneath your-
caudal peduncle.
Right leg.
It was potentially a new species
Come down with
from
the
this
camera.
area, dive 3 of the
Gonna try
1502
and put a toe
expedition,
down.
363 meters.
Yeah, it looks very similar.
Coming down with the
Polyepion,
camera.
species A, described in
Feel free to take a zoom.
Tilt more.
a
Tilt
more
more,
recent
coming down.
paper about fishes in the Anegada Passage and
Okay, there
surrounding
you go.
area. This
Coming
is an
over to
interesting
starboard.
observation. Get a good shot of the front side of it.
Yeah, got its nose. Gonna bring it more
Some
towards the
kind
middle.
of spine, spot on the tail,
A little bit
golden
more.
eye, black center, kind of snout.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it has that spot right there on the.
It's got some beautiful little teeth.
If only Andrea Quattrini
Yeah,
was on right now,
mulling him
the author
over.
of the paper, who suspected this could be a new species
Looks like he's
from
coming
this
back.
area. It was last found at Pinchincho.
Seems to be
Pinchincho.
looking up to you.
Pinchincho,
Yeah,
which
I
is
was gonna
very
say.
close to this. This is
Feel
north.
like I'm doing
Oh
a
wow,
photo.
what a
Yeah.
ham! It's really hamming up this shot here. Roll over.
Okay, coming
Good
down a
fishy,
little bit.
good
Roll.
fishy.
Okay, there we go.
I think he wants a belly rub.
Yeah. Okay, feel free to come out.
Can
I'm
you,
gonna
can you use the
follow.
manip to give a fish a belly rub?
I don't know if that would end well. Might be more rub than.
Oh, that was fantastic.
All right. Science and video are clear. I think we can continue on.
So we think that is possibly a species of
Something
Polyepion
right there, gray in between.
that was last seen in this area in 2015.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
and- I'm not
It
quite
was
right
reported
below
from
me. Coming down.
363 meters on dive 3 of expedition 1502 in this area in
I think that may
2015.
be my max down. I can come back
Yeah,
if you're
Pinchincho
interested.
is just
Sponge material.
to
Copy
the west of Desecheo, so we're relatively close
Yep.
in the region.
Same geographic area.
Copy that.
Well, that's a newer species for this expedition also.
285.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it so far.
I knew I saw that that fish somewhere.
Sounds good. Yeah. I'll come over here a little bit and then get on top of this little crack and follow it.
It's probably the most friendly fish, though. Usually we have to go chase them down. But it came out from under that ledge, checked us out,
Copy that.
and then went back away.
Get over here to starboard a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right?
I wish all fish behave that way.
Okay, there we go. I'm gonna maybe come a little bit more so I can look up at it. Looks like there's another fish there in the distance.
Big fish, small fish?
Small fish. I just saw a flash of
Shadows.
silver.
Tilt up a
Okay.
little bit. I can zoom you to it.
Okay, you see that right there?
Oh yeah, I
That
see it.
screen?
Right, yep. Like at 1 o'clock.
It looks similar. Looks like the
Yeah,
same
it's
one.
the same one.
Oh, wow. 2 in as many minutes.
Not quite a school, but partial class. It's pretty far away. Do we have any interest in getting closer to that, or?
No, that's okay. I think maybe with the lasers we could get an idea of.
Right,
Don't
if you want to
size.
come out
the
to
lasers
lasers.
that far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Right.
if this is this could be a candidate new species. It's had a couple areas. It's been seen in the area a couple times in the past 3 years or so.
Trying to get taken by the current here. Coming back to starboard. Yeah. Looks like there's a bowl shape up there. Okay. This crack seems to be producing, so might as well come back to it and continue along. Fish seems just about as friendly as his friend. Any interest in this bowl-shaped object?
Yeah, can we take a snap zoom?
Sure. Looks like half a coconut, but I feel like every time we say that, it's not.
Some line on the
And,
bottom of the screen. You may want to
have we
check
seen
to
any
see if
fishing
that's
line in
line.
this area?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull back
Is
and
that
take a
fishing
look
line
at
there?
It looks like, yeah, some type of line.
Oh, I thought I was seeing some very thin poly.
Ah,
Line.
right there, yeah.
It's going all the way across the left screen.
that. Yeah, I see that. Trying to back out of its way. Zoom down. Feel free to come in. Definitely looks like something.
Yeah, it looks like fishing line.
All right, come out.
A bit of
So
hydroids.
the fishermen, to catch these deep sea
Here.
fishes, they use these vertical long lines.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they get caught
lift
in,
up video if you could
on the
brighten
bottom
up my screen as I
or
come
in
up.
corals or sponges.
I don't see it.
I could see how that could occur when we went up some pretty
Okay, I'm
steep
gonna
terrain
lift up a
earlier.
little bit higher than normal
That seemed to be
make
pretty
sure I
craggy.
get over it safely. see if this coconut has any more milk in it. There's a larger fish in the background. It looked like the one we saw earlier.
You want to
Yeah,
watch
the
your
queen
proctor
snapper,
wash,
longer
thruster wash
yeah,
fish.
coming.
on that line also.
And there's a small one right in front of us. There's a larger one off in the shadow, though.
Yeah,
If you want to zoom in on this,
that was our
potential.
concern, that the larger fish would keep their distance. But I think as we go along, we'll
This is
peek
a
up.
third. I think this is the geodia, what we're calling geodia.
It looks like that first geodia collection we made.
Yeah. It had
Dirty
that-
on the sides, clean on top.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm falling back on your video. Is there any interest in getting a good view of this?
No, that's okay.
Copy that. Feel free to come out, video. I'm
Copy
gonna go
that,
see if
thank
I
you.
can grab a picture of that fish. Fish are the priority of this dive, correct?
Yeah, one of the priorities.
Gotcha. Yeah,
There's
he's right
something
there.
bigger there.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, feel free to snap. He keeps ducking underneath this cover though, so
It looks like a roughie.
yeah, very similar to the one we saw.
Yeah.
Copy that. Copy that. I'm just gonna push forward, get over this line, so we don't need to worry about it as much. Oh yeah, he's right behind me, huh? Do you think no, definitely can't do a quick 180. No, scaring him too much. Were we able to get lasers on this roughy here?
Laser's not on the roughy yet.
Okay, let's go back. There looks like there's another one to my 11 o'clock now, further along. Feel free to come in. Yeah, slightly too far for lasers.
Much bigger one.
Yeah.
He's off to my starboard. Just keep rotating to starboard.
I don't
yeah.
know much about
Okay, video, I'm going to
fishing
come
for
quick.
roughy.
Yeah.
Love
It
to
looks
know
like
if they are
a
hook,
queen snapper, actually.
like if they take a hook or what.
There's
There we go.
Scartucho.
There's another one
There's a
out
queen
there.
snapper
Yeah, and a roughie.
and a roughie.
Feel free to come
This
in.
is at 409. Oh, there's another fish hanging on the benthos. I don't think that's a roughie.
Okay.
It's dark.
That- So here's another queen snapper. This is the second queen
Yep.
snapper.
He's
For
right
this
by
time.
that fish.
I think it's a roughie. It's
Is
just
it?
sitting on the bottom,
Copy that.
which is
Same
unusual. They're
language.
usually floaters.
It's quite
Very
ironic how
driving, yeah.
close he is to the fishing line without being on it.
Hey, we're ready for another
Are
ship
we,
move.
would we like to
20
try and get
meters
closer
at
to this one, or just
280
lasers?
decimal 2 knots.
Sorry.
I think this is a roughie, and that there seems to be more
Good copy.
fishing line. So this might
Yep.
be a popular area for these fishermen. It's like another set of line on the bottom.
Okay. Well, I would feel better if we continued along to get away from at least that line that we know. It's right there to our starboard. So I'm gonna go back to this crack and see if we can continue following it. Is that the same roughie we saw earlier? There at 12
Yes.
o'clock?
I think so, yeah.
He's the big guy.
Pretty large.
So science, does the fishermen typically fish down to 400 and plus meters?
I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and come
for
down.
the queen snappers, yeah, they there's a couple of fishermen like Luis Roman on the west coast and Nelson that have fished queen snapper. They said down to 400, and Luis told me to 450 meters.
That's a lot of fishing line.
That's a lot of fishing line, especially when you get it tangled and you have to cut it. Yeah. So that's can be a problem for these fishermen. This this lost equipment that they have to buy.
Back is down. Alright.
more or less, the benthos here is pretty spongy still. We have these large platy sponges, sometimes cup-shaped sponges that are dominating this area. There's also these clusters of euplectellids we're seeing occasionally. But I think this is, I mean, occasionally we're seeing these black corals as well. Either stylopathes or parentopathes, something like that, in this area.
Copy that.
Is that more fishing line?
Going. Yeah, Steve, at lunch when I told you we'd find fish in the third shift, I was kind of joking.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Did you say there was more fishing lines?
Try not to get too tangled up in it.
No, I saw another fish.
I thought Watchers might have seen something.
We thought maybe we saw some fishing line towards the left, but it's far off that we can't be too sure.
Copy that. Seems like we're still waiting on a little bit of tether.
It seems like those crevices are hot spots for fishes, not so much on the flats, but here and just below.
You can turn over there and look and see if it's nearby any fish.
Further to the,
so they might have seen some while you're waiting.
I guess to the south, to the left, it looks more or less flat. I think we'd like to stay more or less on these cracks and crevices.
Yeah, it seems like we're seeing more.
So, is that a fish in the background as well, or is that a sponge? Sponge. All right. Excellent. I'll continue coming to the starboard a little bit. There seemed to be a ridge.
There's quite a bit more sediment there as well.
Underneath.
It's mostly rocky out here.
This crack seems to be dying out here.
Yeah, feel free, front row, to adjust your movement to kind of stay along the ridge here.
Copy that.
I think there's an enemy straight forward.
Straightforward.
Or urchin.
Urchin there?
Purple urchin.
Circular.
Yeah, I think that is an urchin.
Okay.
Snapstone center.
Yeah. Let me come down a little bit further, video, and then I'll start moving forward. There we go. If you want to do a snap zoom to see if it's anything of interest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would make
It's
a
like
nice
one of those pancake.
Pancake urchin, yep.
I think without those sacks, it's Aerosoma.
So you get a little bit closer, get in the light pool, and then I can get a toe down and see if
we saw one yesterday that had tiny, tiny little modified spines, those sacks on the aboral surface.
How's that for
act
light
like
video?
hypodermic needles,
Closer, please.
which is pretty scary.
I could see how you want, might be tempted to poke such a thing, but it might not be wise.
No.
How about that?
Yeah, a little bit more.
A little bit more.
The closer you get, the bigger I can make it.
I wonder if
makes sense.
That's good there.
Okay,
we were seeing a lot of those sedarid urchin spines previously, and still actually seeing a lot of them. I wonder if any of the fishes we've seen today are urchin predators.
To come in on that.
Usually urchin predators have like a really pointy mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. How about something like that video?
This is beautiful.
Oh, I am drifting.
Not sure really anything would want to eat these. They're pretty. They're not necessarily very hard. The test is pretty leathery.
There we go.
But I think what they do is flip them over and then
Yeah.
get at it from
The oral side.
the oral side. And I'm sure that the eggs or anything that's inside is pretty nutritious. Yeah.
A lot of coral rubble here, and a lot of these corals are not some that I'm seeing live.
A little bit more.
They could be stylasterids, but I can't tell. I think I'm seeing more rubble than
Feel free to take as
what
much
the
or as
species
little
here
zoom
can
as you
provide.
would like.
Max zoom.
Copy that. Would you like to get closer?
At this point, will this be enough?
So these tips that are modified, what we were told, they act like hypodermic needles. So these are called fire urchins, and I guess they're very painful to handle.
Movement in the lens
if
is
you don't have gloves.
less noticeable when I'm on less.
Gotcha.
I'll tilt down and let's look at the feet.
Coming down.
Do you want to keep that move going, co-pilot, or do you just want to wait for a while when they're stopped?
More.
I think it looks like they're coming to a stop now.
Yeah, pretty shortly. Not right now.
285 is
Even
gonna be
further, or are you happy with that video?
That's it. That's good. Video's clear.
Copy
Okay,
that.
science, if you were
Bridge, we'd
clear.
like to put in another move, actually. 20 meters at 285,
Coming up.
0.2 knots.
Full wide video.
Good copy.
It's easy to tell when we're stopping. When we're coming astern, they just fire up the main screws. See it in the wire cam.
Okay, I think over here to the starboard's a little lip. Down a little high.
Pushing past the skids.
Go ahead. And feel free to call out anything that anyone may see.
This sponge here at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Do you think this one looks different? It's
I
more
think
convoluted.
I want to say it's like similar to these other white ones and just a different
The one that's coming
morphology, but
Yeah.
center now.
Can we snap on that?
Sure. Go ahead, video.
It looks a lot more convoluted on top, and I was kind of like a head of lettuce or something
I'm coming
than
down
some of these
slowly.
other ones that are more bowl-shaped or cup-shaped.
Coming down.
Huh.
yeah, it's like very similar to that, but it's a different
Okay.
form.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah, I
camera.
just really wish to know what these sponges are.
Yeah.
You see in the background, it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
similar, but just a different type of morphology.
Sorry, video, if you could come up partial. I messed up that approach. We'd like a close zoom of this.
I think we can move on. Yeah, I did see in this direction a long whip-like structure. You see right at the
Straight
top
ahead.
of the screen? Yeah.
Yep.
That may be something we haven't seen very often.
Copy that.
It's kind of yellowish on the colony tip and then whitish on the base. Looks like to have some associates on there.
Okay, coming down for a tow. Video, is that close enough for a decent zoom?
Yeah, I'd go closer.
Coming closer. Okay, how about that?
It's getting there. That's good.
Coming back a little bit, coming down a little bit.
Take a look at HD2. It's a good positioning camera.
Copy that. Okay, I think I'm ready for a zoom. Science, any particular point on this that you would rather see?
Can we just scan along the colony?
Sure. Going up to the port side first.
Want to take a good look at everything.
Coming around. Is that too fast, video?
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Copy that. And then coming up a little bit on the camera so we get it all. Continuing to port. Trying to continue to port. Coming a little more to port. There we go. Coming up. A little too quick. Coming down. A little too jerky. A little bit more. Sorry, that was quite jerky. This is a longer whip
okay.
than I expected.
I don't think this is a bamboo coral.
I didn't see any notes.
Yeah. But I was just trying to
Copy that.
Tip.
What do you think?
make some sense of it. don't know if
Coming
I've
up
ever
to
seen
it.
anything like this before. It's very rigid
Copy that.
for being a whip like this. Could be an Ellicillid.
Come on, come on. Come back to me.
Yeah. No, let's see.
Trying to see how many tentacles are on the polyps.
Kind of looks like this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was confusing. I think it's probably. Is that a?
It's like a little shrimp. Yeah.
Come to that.
Difficult to say. It very much resembles one of the corals we were seeing that we sampled on one of our shallower dives. I think it was at Caja de Muertos also, where we saw at the very end of the dive a very thin whip. But these polyps look much more fleshy and thick.
How much more zoom do you have, video?
It's max zoom.
Copy that.
Oh, right.
Try and keep it into view. It keeps.
Pulling for full screen.
Copy that.
I think it
I'm
was.
probably going to have to come to the starboard quite a bit. Going to rotate as you come out. Okay. And I should be able to get full screen just by turning.
All right, pilots. Thanks. Can we? No, I think we're all set with that one.
Copy that.
Thanks very much.
Excellent. All set when video is set.
A few more seconds. Video's clear.
Sorry, I was drifting away on you. So I guess how in the future, how would I get a stabler shot? Either pilot or co-pilot or nav.
Your right toe was hovering.
Okay.
And your left one was down, so you could just come square in. You might have to like shimmy to find that.
Gotcha.
But yeah. It wasn't unstable the way you were. It was just you were also kind of fighting the tether trying to turn you. So I think that's what you were seeing. Yeah, it's just minor adjustments like that.
Okay.
You weren't far from it at all, though.
And be advised, pilots, we're going to do a ship heading change before we are able to call another one, so don't rush off too quickly.
Copy
We'll have
that.
to wait a little bit.
Understood.
Take some time and see what's over here. Okay. Ah. Copy that. There's another small fish. Hey video, could we just have a snap zoom on this fish out here? I think there's two of them. I think they're the same ones, yeah. Same ones that we saw before. Science, any interest in trying to chase these little guys down?
Are we heading that way?
Yes, we are, but we're waiting for
a ship move.
Ship move.
Okay, I think that's okay.
Actually.
Oh, this one's coming to us. They're really friendly.
Come here, little guy.
It must be you, pilot. Oh.
Yeah. That's it. All I can think of is
So we think this is a newer species that was identified in the last expedition. Close to here at Pinchincho, which is about northwest of where we are located right now, to the west of Desecheo.
sorry, video, say that again.
Center him.
This is Baliepian, possibly.
I'm going to try and put a toe down. Sorry.
So far we've
Jerking around a little bit
seen
here.
a handful of these, and they seem to be relatively friendly,
Go ahead, Bridge.
not shy.
Go for that.
Copy that.
But yeah. Science, are you more interested in the head, the tail?
I
Okay,
think
we'll
this
probably
is
call in
actually
a,
good.
move here in
This
just a moment.
this view right here
Copy that. Coming
on the
back.
side.
They definitely are friendly.
Yeah.
Should
Either
we start
that or
getting
they're
moving
just
here? Come on.
blind.
You still like your 285? Still looks good on sonar.
Yeah, it does. Maybe 290.
Shift
just
it over
to
a
stay
little
with
bit.
the crack. Yeah.
20
Come
meters
down.
or
I think we're seeing enough. We could just keep it at 20. Yeah.
all right, bridge. This is Nav.
He's in.
We're ready for that ship move. It's going to be
Copy
20
that. Oh, yeah.
meters at
Do it in dance.
290, 0.29.
Ooh. Okay.
Good copy.
I think I lost him there. Gonna come back over to starboard. And bring it up on the camera. Any interest in this little whip here? Right below my skids.
We've seen it a few times.
Okay,
Tilt up a little bit more.
coming up. And feel free to go past. Yep, thank you.
So this is a type of wrasse.
I'll be your fish overwatch pilot.
Copy that.
Looking good. The next move Nav just put in was 290, which is we're all lined up on it now, so
Perfect.
close to it. Yeah, there you go. Trying to follow this crack here, this ridge.
Get a little bit closer.
So for all those who are tuning in, we started at the base of this escarpment right off of northwest of Isla de Mona, a small little island about 40 miles offshore of offshore on the west side of Puerto Rico. We have reached kind of the top of this and are following this edge. And so far we've seen quite a few species of fish. And as you see in your screen, there's a high diversity of sponges. And also throughout this dive, we've seen a number of corals, both black and soft. And in the beginning of the dive, we actually saw branching sclerotinian coral.
You look tight at that white spongy coral.
So this
looking
has
thing,
been
the bottom
a
right,
pretty interesting dive.
Right.
the branching one.
Gotcha. The little one next to the head of lettuce.
Yeah.
Copy that.
And Mona is area
Gonna get a little
known,
bit
I mean, in the
closer.
shallow water reefs as an area of really high diversity of fish and of
Go ahead and
benthic
start coming in
fauna,
as I come down.
but not much is known about the
Quick
deep
down,
sea habitat. So this is a great view.
give me a second.
And one of the objectives of today's dive was to
Alright.
characterize
Go ahead for that.
the habitats of some of
Community
these
center.
commercially important fish
Coming down.
species, like the deep water snappers, like the queens. And we were lucky enough to see a couple of these
Little
queen
starfish on
snappers. So this looks like a stylaster, right?
Turtle.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
This is different than what
That's
we've
a-
been seeing.
Yeah, the brittle star also is pretty interesting. You don't see
Coming up
brittle
a little
stars
bit.
often on these stylastrids, but yeah, I still think this is Crypthelia. It has these circular
Yeah, like
cyclosystems, but the plate So the morphology of the small plate that covers the top of each cyclist
Is that
system
full
is
video
That is,
varies based on the species.
you tilt to the top polyps.
coming out?
Very fine
Fine little hairs there.
hairs
Yeah.
or polyps on the top.
Yeah, we have
Is
seen
it
so
cilia? What
this
is that
this
part
actually
term?
this stylastrid is one of the deepest
Coming back.
living stylastrids that has been recently reported.
Okay.
This genus can
Okay.
occur down to 2,700 meters,
Gonna
I think,
come up.
was the
You don't
deepest
really have a
depth
whole lot
recorded in
more
the
zoom,
paper.
right?
We
And
saw it yesterday, yeah.
we
Deep.
saw it yesterday at around 2,400 or
Comes down
2,300,
again.
pretty deep.
Look a little more
So-
at the base.
They can be quite deep, but they're known very well from this area. Generally, I would say very well. That's a relative term. There's about half a dozen
Like that.
species that are described from the depths of 400 to
Once I see
about
lasers,
800
I'll lift
meters
them up to
maximum
paint it.
in this area, from the Straits of Florida through the Lesser Antilles. But
Okay,
yeah,
coming up
they're
to
a
paint it.
little enigmatic because they are so brittle. It's hard to believe that they
Okay.
would come up whole in
Some
a
lasers
trawl.
on it.
It'd be pretty fragmented, and highly fragmented, and difficult to describe from
Go
their
ahead.
original morphology.
Yeah, coming
But
over
yeah,
to it.
the challenge is, we tried very hard yesterday to grab one of these at depth, and
Yeah.
they're just very challenging because they're so fragile.
Thanks, Bridge.
What is that black branching small? Is that a hydroid? Or is that?
It looks
Coral?
like a small octocoral. I would say it might be a chrysogorgiid based on
Trying to come over
how it's
for
branching,
audio,
but
video.
I don't know if I could go further than that. I mean, the chrysogorgiids, or golden corals, sometimes they're called. They usually have a golden skeleton, but the skeleton is quite dark
So
here.
where
But
is
the
that,
polyp
like,
definitely screams
sway coming
octocoral.
from?
Your front two toes are down,
Yeah,
but
I'm pushing a little too hard.
no, your
We
end
were
is
looking
over
at some of these
your
earlier,
back
and
end, so you're like oscillating on
the
your toes.
chrysogorgia
You're also
genus
pushing really
is
hard.
probably between chrysogorgia
How
and
would I
iridogorgia.
prevent
They're
that
probably
in the
some of the
future?
most important
Maybe a lighter touch.
corals that we see
Use a touch
egg
on the
cases
down,
on
and then
often.
sometimes a
We've
little.
seen
just a
cephalopod
little
egg
forward
cases
there.
attached in
Okay.
the Pacific. We've seen
Oh yeah, so
skate,
like try and get
or
my toes
rather
to
not
push
skate,
into
but
the
exactly.
cat shark egg
Gotcha.
cases
Get
on
as light as you can
those.
without moving.
got a
In the
big
Gulf
old
of
urchin
Mexico.
over here.
In the Caribbean as well.
Any interest, video or science?
I think yes.
Can you repeat that?
On the urchin here, it's like 1 o'clock.
I think we just saw
Yeah.
one.
I think
I
we're
think
all
we're,
set with
yeah,
those.
we're good.
I can't hear you very well.
Turn me
now.
up on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Your forward lights are still on too, by the way.
Gotcha. If you don't mind bringing those off.
He's walking pretty fast. Don't you see his
Who's-
feet, the urchin?
Okay. Could you come off with the front headlights?
Sure.
Can feel free to snap zoom. I think science said that they were happy with the one that we saw. Do you have any interest in seeing one that's walking, science?
It's going pretty quick.
Excuse me. Do you have any interest in seeing one that's running, science?
No, this is okay.
Okay. Copy
Thank
that.
you.
Feel free to come out, video. Does it? I guess does video have any interest in seeing one running?
We've zoomed enough in and out, so.
If you can find one that's
Got that.
like
Sprinting.
doing something weird
Right.
other than walking and running, I
We'll
think.
find the Urchin Olympics here a little bit. This is just the
Pole
crowd
vaulting.
going down.
Discus. I bet they would really be really good at the javelin.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and sneak to the starboard side of this ridge here. If that works for everyone. I don't know if I have a tether though.
I have a little bit, yeah.
We seem to be shooting downhill.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll face uphill now.
You might have to just kind of face back uphill and then kind of translate
Is this black mark up here a fish, or is that?
We can start another move too
Crack.
as soon as he's.
Correct.
Or do you want to start right now?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
You're still at two. We're actually at 297 now. How do you like that one?
That's fine with me. 300.
300.
This right here is a crack.
Bridge, RV nav.
It's a stick.
Oh, it's a stick.
Ah.
It's a woodfall.
It's a crack stick.
Hey, we're ready for another move. 20 meters, 300, 0.2 knots.
And we saw this sponge quite a bit earlier, and we got a sample of it, correct? This veiny
Good copy.
sponge.
Yep.
Copy that. Okay. Anything of interest in here? I'm getting kind of stretched out, right?
I don't think so.
No.
So, pilot, do you think, so we noticed that there's fish seem to be below us for the last little while.
Yeah, do you want to come to the starboard a bit?
Yeah, come down, maybe drop down a bit, and navigator can maybe plot a track that's a little bit lower than this lip.
Sure. Navigator, do you think you can? We have a ship move in right now, currently, correct?
That is correct.
All right. So science, let's wrap up this last move that we just had called in, and then we can start cheating our way to the starboard and see if we can get down over this little ridge here.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Nav, I might just cut that move short. Copy that. And then I think, yeah, you go ahead and cut it.
Bridge, RV nav.
Almost
Let's
looks
go
like
ahead and
there's a
come to
little
an
bit
easy
of
stop
sand.
here.
Yeah, it's like halfway. And then I think maybe send me north.
360.
Yeah.
Uh,
And get me off the wall. And then that way we can both look at the wall and then just translate.
okay. Gonna touch down.
Estamos buscando el hábitat de los peces en aguas profundas, como cartuchos y guasas.
Kind of swing this way. Get the other one down. I think.
So I'm just going to, as we're moving north, I'm just going to keep you centered and keep turning.
Copy that. How about that video?
Let's go to the brittle star.
Go to the brittle star.
This looks like a black coral with associate brittle star.
Yep.
Es un coral negro.
On this feature, we've seen at least 2 Stichopathes like black corals like this, a bit deeper, pretty much around 560 meters where we landed. We were seeing the orange variant of Stichopathes, of orange species. But it seems like just as we are getting up on the cusp of this ridge, this seems to be the dominant Stichopathes in this area. Also a very nice, fine brittle star. Most likely a coral commensal.
We don't usually see these brittle stars on these type of corals, do we?
We don't, yeah. This was something that I've been seeing a lot more often up here, that brittle stars are attached to corals we don't usually find them attached to. For example, on the stylastrids,
Come down video.
the stony fan-shaped structures, as well as these black corals. But yeah, they can sometimes be abundant on these black coral whips.
So let's get lasers.
Okay, come out for lasers. Do you want it on the coral or do you want it on the brittle star?
We're all set on this one in the back row.
Excellent. Looks like we have some tether. We can scoot back to starboard and get below that ridge so we're looking up on it.
Yep.
Alright, video when you're clear. I'm gonna push up and over.
Fish.
No, that branching, I think the one that we collected, possibly.
The one right ahead of us.
Yeah, the branching.
Any interest or?
Can we just snap zoom?
Yeah, feel free to come in video. Get you a little.
Yeah, it does look like the same one we collected.
Yep.
I'm very interested to see what that is. It's not one I immediately recognize.
Okay. Let's, yeah, exactly. Come out all the way, and we'll scoot down over this ridge. I think I see a couple shadows up there that may lead to fish.
Thank
Okay.
you, Bridge.
And yeah, as we go, we can keep our camera oriented upwards if it's convenient for you, pilot, just so we can see off into the distance.
Yep. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, come down. Try and get something like this so we can see underneath the ridge here. Come down quite a bit more.
Is that move done now? Is that what he said?
Yep, just finished. I was going to let him push out before I called another one.
Yeah.
Sounds good. But yeah, that northern move looks like it put us right there. So do you want to just, like, for 300 for the
There's
next
a little
one
bit more sediment
Or
in
do you
this
wanna go
area
a
than
little
we've
to
seen
the
on the
north?
dive so far.
Oh, there's
yeah.
a fish right
Maybe
there.
a little bit more north.
Okay. You want me to
I'm
split the
gonna
difference?
sneak around and see if I can get a better,
Like
get a little bit closer to 'em.
330.
Or do you think you can? So with the roughies and some of the ones that we've seen quite a bit of, are you looking more just to paint them with the lasers to get a size and a number, or
Maybe
do you
just
wanna,
a size, yeah.
feel free to come in video.
Maybe not that much. Maybe like 320.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay.
Take as much or as little as you like video.
Actually, he kind of snuck out there, so I can go ahead and get him started right now.
sure.
There we go.
Sounds good.
So I believe that Michelle
Bridge
commented
nav.
that she's never seen, well, she doesn't
I'll
know
move
of
it
a
in pretty quick, huh?
fisherman catching one of these roughies. So
Hey, we're ready for another ship move. We're
Well, they
looking
seem
at
to be
20 meters,
one of the more abundant
320,
fishes.
Down here,
0.2
yeah.
knots.
The fish very upper right. Put on
Upper
screen
right.
right.
Good copy.
Small against side of the ridge.
Small inside of the ridge, upper right. Let me know if I've gone past it, or give me a clock face.
Coming top center.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Ah,
that's
that's-
one of our little friendly.
yeah,
Friendly fish.
friendly fish.
Do they have a common name?
I don't know if they have a common name.
I'm gonna go with spotted something.
Wrasse.
Yeah, it's a type of wrasse.
That's clear.
RAS is in R-A-S-S or R-A-S-P?
WR.
WRASSE.
Can we do a snap zoom on this yellow sponge to the bottom
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Sure.
think a little bit
Yeah.
different.
Come over and back.
Still mostly sponges here.
Tilt them down.
We've gotten out a lot of the branching corals we were seeing before. There's still some of these stichopathes, or not stichopathes, parentopathes or stylopathes, whips.
This is Ricardo. I think that was a cardinal snapper.
Okay.
The one that we just saw, is this Ricardo?
Yes, that is
Feel
a
free
cardinal
to come
snapper.
in video. I'll come down with the camera. Come down. There we go.
So the sponge is not one we immediately recognize. If it is, it kind of has this odd coloration.
Looks like a type of Yersinia.
Okay. I think we're all set with the lasers, co-pilot.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you mind?
All set back here, pilot.
Actually, you can leave them on there also. That's fine. Gotcha. Yeah. Right, keep moving.
Ricardo, are you still online?
Yes.
Do you fish these
Hey, co-pilot.
fish the one that's right now on the
I
screen?
don't think it's trending any far up, but the wind is holding like at around 20. And
Yes,
might be trying to
the
creep up,
member
I'm
of
not sure.
the Boquerón Fisherman
Just so you're aware.
Association.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we bring in some of
Keep an eye
this
on it.
cardinal.
Feel free to come in on this.
So you call these cardinal snappers?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Thanks, man.
So this is Ricardo Lugo. He's a fisherman from the west coast of Puerto Rico, from the Boquerón Fishing Association.
Drifting away.
Yep.
Do you come out in this area and fish a lot?
No, we don't go
Feel
that
free
far.
to come off with lasers.
Okay.
We call this Muniama de Afuera.
Coming over and up.
Can you repeat that?
Muniama de Afuera.
Yeah.
Lasers are clear.
I've never actually really seen this fish at some of the landing sites. And I was asking Michelle if she also knows, if she knew of anyone that, fishes also this fish. So that's interesting.
Yes, it's basically caught between 900 and 1,200 feet.
900 to
1,200 feet. Okay.
Very good. Thanks, Ricardo.
Do they taste good? They don't seem like that they would taste very well.
Yeah, delicious.
Coming up.
Oh, they're delicious. Okay. Thank you, Ricardo.
Can tell them that we can drop a waypoint for them.
Well, isn't this part of the no fish?
Yeah.
area?
Well, no, it's only 1 mile
Oh, 1
off
mile.
off of Mona, where you cannot fish.
Okay. So we're in the vicinity of 7 miles, what would you say? Or
Yeah, like around, I think, 5 miles,
5 to 7 miles, yeah.
something like that.
So pilot up, come around to port. Fair
We should
amount.
have another dive coming up in this area
235.
over the next few days as well.